my t-shirt.
My female best friend. The journey that I've had, I wouldn't change a thing. The ups, downs, everything. They've made me learn about myself as a person. What an experience. Not many people get to do this.
I'm so sorry. I am on holiday. I'm on holiday for a week and I'm out of the country in a totally different time zone. So my reviews are going to be all over the place. I'll have to try and do it in between my holiday because I have to enjoy myself as well. So I'm happy Scott has gone home. I think he was at peace, and I think I would have loved for him to stand there as part of the final three, but at the same time, I think it's time for him to go home because the villa was becoming way more toxic, and I don't want them to bring him down to where he was after Kasamo. So I'd rather he live on a high. I think people stopped voting for him because they were fed up of Abi, and I think he himself was fed up of Abi, so it was time for him to go, and I'm so happy for him. I love his relationship with Whitney. I love how excited he and Whitney seemed to be when he was leaving and saying goodbye to one another. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, I digress. Hey there, thanks for stopping by. It's your girl Valerie. Welcome to my channel. In this episode, I'll be reviewing Love Island, Season 10, Episode 52. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, click the like button, leave a comment, and turn on the notification bell for when I upload new videos. The producers were looking for drama, and for the draftees, they really got what they were looking for, in the sense that there's a lot of tension in the villa. Everyone is in their feelings and is wanting to be heard, and no one wants to hear the other person. And so I give it to a couple of people. I give it to Scott and Whitney mainly, and Ella Bay, for setting boundaries with people and making sure that they vocalize how they feel and not just let people get away with stuff. Because you have Ty wanting to speak to Whitney, and Whitney refused to speak to him and told him, I need time, which is right. If you're upset in the heat of the moment, you don't want to have a conversation, you want to wait until you're settled and you have, you're able to sort of formulate a sentence that everybody can hear and understand, and you can say what you mean and mean what you say. Whereas in the heat of the moment, at times you'll say things that you'll regret. So I give it to Whitney for setting those boundaries with Ty. Whether he was upset or not, that's his own business. And for Ella to say that she feels it's more to do with Ty and Logan doesn't make sense, because she was upset with Whitney because she said she didn't like the way that Whitney called her names and the way Whitney spoke to her and this, that, and the other. And yet she stands by her man when he humiliates Whitney and speaks to Whitney like he's speaking to a little child. I don't get that. Because Ella's going to have a lot of problems with Ty when she leaves the villa. She should be taking a page out of Whitney's book, whereby Whitney is setting boundaries with Ty and letting Ty know how she feels, what she's willing to put up with and what she's not willing to put up with. Whereas Ella hasn't set boundaries with Ty in the villa where he's contained. We can only imagine what he'll do once he leaves the villa. He then goes and has a conversation with Logan and apologizes to Logan, and I'm like, your apology tour should have started with Whitney, because Whitney was the first person you upset, and that's where your apology should have gone. I don't think you should have been apologizing to Logan before you spoke to Whitney, because you didn't disrespect Logan. Yes, you disrespected him to some way, in the sense that you disrespected this girl in front of him, but Whitney is the one you told to shut up. So that's the person you need to apologize to first before you speak to anybody else. And then you have Abi wanting to speak to Scott, and Scott said, no, give me time. I need to speak to the boys first, and then I'll come and speak to you. And you could tell she was upset because she didn't get her way. And it's like, well, he needs to compose himself, and then he'll have a conversation with you. He's not going to be toxic like Mitch. He's not going to tell you what you want to hear. So wait until he speaks to you. And then you have Ella B talking to Jess and Abi, and everybody felt uncomfortable when they saw the way Ella confronted Ella B in the bedroom, the way she spoke to her. Even Ty, when he was watching it, you could tell he was very uncomfortable. He was very tense, and this shows a different side that people were not aware of. And the fact that Ella B didn't go back to Ty to repeat what Ella said, or didn't tell any of the girls in the villa, I salute her, and I give her a standing ovation, because if it was anybody else, they would have gone around the villa getting everybody on their side to turn against Ella, but she decided to just mind her own business and keep it moving. I love that. And then Mitchell and Scott. Why is Mitchell so bothered about Abi? He's more bothered about how Scott treats Abi as compared to how he treated Abi. Make it make sense? Make it make sense? Mitchell is trying to play the good guy in a way that he degrades and he humiliates Scott. And yet he won't take responsibility. Oh, I am someone who's very petty. Don't call me an open. If you're behaving like a knobhead, then you deserve to be called a knobhead, and you need to keep it moving. Oh my god, I get so wound up. And then Ty eventually speaks to Whitney. One thing about Whitney is people say Whitney likes to give it, but she can't take it. Whitney can take it, but when you give it to Whitney, you better come with receipts, because she's not going to just accept anything you say without sort of holding you accountable. So whatever you say, you have to be prepared for the, you know, for the fallout. Because if you say something stupid without any evidence, she's going to call you out, and that's what she did to Ty. I'm happy that they did make up and they were good friends and they hugged it out, but at least now Ty knows where he stands. He knows what Whitney is willing to put up with and what she's not willing to put up with. All the islanders go to sleep. Everybody seems to be in a good mood, so that's good. And then in the morning they have a debriefing. Oh god, I don't even know why we need the debriefing. It's the final week. We don't need to hear anymore. And so there's this conversation about Abi, Scott, Mitch, and it's like, why do we need to keep hearing this? We've had enough of this. Let's move on. It's time to move on. Really, I'm fed up of this conversation. And Abby still, oh, I need Scott to make a decision. Abby gives people the ick, and she doesn't realize that she gives the guys the ick, in the sense that she gave Mitch the ick when the way she behaved about him sort of getting to know Ella B, and now she's done the same thing. Sadly, Abby has given Scott the ick because he's watched her behavior with Mitch front row. He's seen how they've behaved, and he's told himself, I don't want toxicity, and I don't want the negativity that comes with dating this girl. And he's tried his best to see if he can overcome that. He's struggled. He's had people call him out, and I think he's said to himself, enough is enough. And so during the debriefing, he was saying today he's going to make a decision whether they proceed or whether they break things off. Abby is wanting to know because apparently in bed Scott was cuddling her, and then he says they need to take things slow, so he doesn't know exactly where they stand. He wants them to make a decision, and it's like, oh, you can see Scott is really not feeling you. I wasn't really one of Catherine's fans, but he felt Catherine way more than he felt Abby. And Abby, I think he's just with her because that's what he has to do to stay in the fella. And now it's finals week. He can go home in peace knowing that, he stayed until the very end. Yes, I don't think he had the idea that he was going to win, given the fact that he wasn't really in a romantic couple. I think if he was still with Catherine, then he would look towards winning. But he didn't come across as someone who was really there to win. He came across there as someone who was there to genuinely find a relationship. And when he couldn't find it, he decided to just sit back and watch and wait to be sent home. And I don't know, we'll see. He then tells everybody that, he's broken things off with Abby. And then Ella B tells Mitch that, oh, Scott and Abby have broken up. And it's like, yeah, they were going to break up because Scott is not a toxic guy. If it was Mitch, they would have kept that ball rolling past the show and till infinity or until deals run out. But Scott doesn't come across as one of those people. So I can't see him sort of calling it quits and telling her, I'm sorry, but we're done. I don't want any more of this. I want to move on. And also for Abby to go and cry to Molly and Zachariah, oh, I don't know whether it's me or whether it's them, the type of guys that I keep choosing, because they all gave me the same reason as to why I keep giving them the ick and I don't know what to do. And it's like, seriously, let's move on. Enough is enough. This has failed. It's okay for you to say this has failed and try something new with somebody else and stop annoying us, because I think we're done. I'm sorry, but I don't know whether the producers take time to actually think of situations before they set them up, because I don't get why Sammy needed to give Ellaby advice. Sammy has moved mad in the villa. He's been one of the worst sort of partners to be in a coupling with, the way he's treated Jess. And so for them to sit him down with Ellaby and have him sort of advise Ellaby about her relationship doesn't make sense to me, but maybe it's just me. I think he needs to sort of work on his relationship with Jess before he starts giving someone relationship advice. And then you have the islanders ready for the night. Abby is speaking to Scott. She's happy that they've dated things and they're better off as friends. And you can see Scott has had enough. He doesn't want to talk about it anymore. He's checked out. He's just waiting for his fate, whether he goes home or whether whoever's voting for him votes for him to stay in the villa. That's the impression that I'm getting. And then Ella B also called out Mitch that I'm tired of you talking about, Abby and Scott and their situation. This is all we've spoken about. And yet there was a clip of you disrespecting me. Instead of you apologizing for that and us working on that, you've wasted your time on telling me about Scott, which has nothing to do with me. And I don't get it, which is the truth though. She doesn't need to hear about her Scott and Abby's relationship because it's done. I think the islanders were sabotaging other people's relationships so that they could stay in the villa and be in the running for the win. I don't think Mitch and Ella B will win, so I don't know why Mitch has decided to do that. And then you have Zachariah. Zachariah has been in a coupling with Molly for eight weeks, and he's still telling her, "I like you." Seriously, you like her. When are you going to love her? When? Or when are you going to say I'm committed to her? You were telling Lockham in the bedroom when they were changing that, oh, we were talking about getting a place and stuff, and it's like Molly has these ideas of her relationship with Zachariah that Zachariah is not in on. And then Zachariah is just being told this is what we're doing. That's the impression that I get. And I said this before. And I think this is what is going on with that relationship, in that whatever Molly decides about the relationship is what Zachariah is doing. Zachariah is just wanting to win the show. And so he'll do and say anything that will keep Molly happy. I don't see them getting to the stage of moving in together. I don't know. Maybe there's a part of it that we're not saying. But it will take a lot of work for them to move in together, because Zachariah is not mature enough to sort of be living with anyone. That's the impression that I get. The islanders then receive a text message to gather around the fire pit. The islanders gather around the fire pit, and it's revealed that the three least compatible couples are Zachariah and Molly, Scott and Abi, and Mitch and Ella Bay. Am I surprised? No. It's the audacity for Sabi to say that, oh, you know, Zach and Molly are there just because they needed three couples. Any one of us, it would have been shocking. And it's like you've never really liked Jess, so please stop treating us like we're idiots. I stuck by what you said the first time when you said she was not your type and she was punching it. So please keep quiet. And it was obvious they're going to vote for Scott and Abby, because Scott and Abby are in a friendship couple, and it wouldn't have made sense for them to send anyone else. And I think the only other couple they could have sent would have been Mitch and Ella B, but the producers obviously want to keep Mitch until the very end. And I wouldn't be surprised if Mitch makes it to the finale with Ella B, unless the Islanders vote for him to be least compatible, because they have to do that on final dates. Scott was happy to be going home. He was relieved. You could tell he was relieved. He knew that Abby wasn't it for him, but he stayed in a couple with her just because he needed to be in a couple with someone to be on the show. I like that he took away his plate with his name. You know, they put the plates at the end of the bed, and he sort of unscrewed his and he took it with him. You could see Whitney. I think Whitney was trying too much to be happy with the girls. I think because she didn't want to cry about Scott, but Scott said, you know, she was his female best friend, and he was happy for the ups and downs he had with everybody in the villa, and he was happy for his experience. He didn't expect to last 6 weeks, and here he was. So he left with Ella B. Ella's, oh, I'm sad that I didn't find what I was looking for. And it's like, you are a bit intense. Maybe this is why you're not finding what you want. Maybe if you take a couple of deep breaths, settle down a bit, you will find the guy that's meant for you. But as long as you continue to behave the way you're behaving, you're never going to find that person. So they left the villa. I think you have Zachariah speaking to Molly, and Zachariah saying, oh, Molly's talking about, oh, I don't understand why we're in the bottom. I don't know what people see that makes them think that we deserve to be in the bottom three. And Zachariah is like, well, I found what I was looking for. I was looking for someone. I found you. That's it. I'm not bothered about winning. Whether I win or not doesn't make any sense to me. And it's like, if the Islanders were really smart, they'll send Zachariah and Molly home next. That way they have a chance of winning, because as I said in my previous review, I don't think any of the couples in the villa at the moment we could say have a genuine connection, bar Ella and Ty. But Ella and Ty are very toxic. So that's going to be, as people like to call it, struggle love. I don't believe in that term, but Ella and Ty is going to be struggle love, especially given the fact that Ella couldn't call Ty out for his bad behavior towards her sister or her friend. So this shows me that she's going to have a lot of problems with Ty when they leave the villa. And then you have Ella and Ty talking about how excited they are to make it to, you know, the final dates. Everybody, Mitch goes to the bedroom. He's busy chatting to Logan and telling Logan that he believes that Ella B is fake. And it's like, he's saying that because he wants to go back to Abby. That's the impression that I get. So he wants to tarnish, he's looking for a way of getting out of his relationship without being sort of in trouble. So he's saying that in order for him to sort of find a way to untangle himself from his relationship with Ella B. That way he makes Ella B look like she's the bad guy, and then people can sort of empathize with him when he decides to get back with Abby. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Next is final dates. I don't know. I don't know what my opinion is. Anyway, thanks guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Bye everyone.